The second thing was that William Godwin had published his book, Memoirs of the Author of a Vindication of the Rights of Women in London in 1798. Godwin had intended the memoirs to be a tribute to his wife's memory and philosophical legacy, and he had tried to capture the whole of her complex life and work for posterity. He was in mourning, and he composed the book within 2 months of her untimely death as a result of a childbirth infection in September 1797. The biographical transparency of the memoirs hurt Wollstonecraft's posthumous reputation, however, because of its revelation of a Republican marriage, an illegitimate child with the American Gilbert Imlay during her residence in revolutionary France, and a premarital sexual relationship with Godwin soon thereafter in London. So, many scholars have argued that while the early reception of Wollstonecraft and the rights of women in Britain and the United States was mixed, but mainly positive, the publication of the shocking memoirs soon sent her and her philosophy of women's rights into disrepute. Now, as we see, even though the anti-Jacobins in Britain and America used her unusual life and untimely death as a morality tale to illustrate the profligate path onto which equal rights would surely lead the sexes, Wollstonecraft continued to be read, often underground, by the leading progressive minds of the early 19th century on both sides of the Atlantic. Thus, in an 1843 letter to John Stuart Mill, the French positivist thinker and scholar, Auguste Comte divulged how reading Wollstonecraft shaped his early thinking on the relationship between the sexes during the late 1790s. And we might quote from what he wrote, quote, "All thinkers who seriously like women as something more than pretty playthings have nowadays passed through a similar phase. I believe, in my turn, I will recall the time when the strange book of Miss Mary Wollstonecraft, written before she married Godwin, influenced me strongly," unquote. So, beyond such private browsing of her works, Wollstonecraft had a strong presence in the public spheres of the United States and continental Europe in the first few decades of the 19th century. So, American newspapers published a humorous piece on the right of women to wear breeches, signed with droll comic effect, Mary Wollstonecraft Jr.